I flew 2 months ago with a young man who is actually on the founding board of the American Society of Atheists and Agnostics. He was going to a conference to speak, and we sat next together on a flight, and we began to discuss and found out how diametrically we differed one from another. He was the head of this agnostic and atheistic community, and I am the head of a Christian community. We both are going to speak at our conferences, and we thought it was somewhat of a serendipitous situation that we would be met or be together there. And so we began to argue and discuss and debate, just like we do, friendly. I wasn't mad at him. I said, that's what you believe. I said, I think it takes incredible faith to be an atheist. As a matter of fact, I admire the faith of an atheist. He said, well, atheists don't have faith. I said, they absolutely do have faith. They believe that they don't believe. It takes far greater faith to believe that you don't believe than to believe that you do. I said, that means that you must disqualify everything you know and don't know. I said, well, we come to the conclusion that there are some things we just don't know. I said, it takes a tremendous amount of arrogance to say you know everything. It takes far greater faith. And so as we began to debate and to begin to discuss, and he began to discuss the importance of atheism, I said, well, what do you... What's your argument? What are you dealing with? Explain to me the basis of your relationship or your understanding of atheism. And let me explain to you the basis of my understanding of God. And we got into this conversation. And in the conversation, he began to say, well, we don't believe in God. I said, well, why don't you believe in God? What is the basis of your argument that there's no God? He makes it very clear, very simple. He says, the basis of my argument that there is no God is this. If I don't see it, if I cannot define it, if I cannot grasp it, if it is not there, if there is no evidence of it, then it cannot be true. He said, only what is tangible. I said, well, there are sounds that a bat hears that we don't hear. They are called supersonic. Doesn't mean that it's not true. There are colors that a snake's eye can see that we can't see. Doesn't mean that it's not true. Ants can feel an earthquake 2 weeks before the greatest of one of our computers can designate that it's coming. Doesn't mean it's not coming. To say that only what is available to us presently, only what we can see presently, if that is the basis of our experience, then do we devalue everything else? See, to be a witness, watch, to be a witness, to witness means to hand someone, your story's not. So he says, let me argue with you. He says, you're a Christian. I said, yeah. And you believe in Jesus? I said, yes. How do you believe in Jesus? I said, because I've read the Gospels and they have convinced me. He said, watch, you have 4 Gospels. They contradict each other. I said, good point. 4 different stories. He said, if the story of Jesus Christ is so important, it seems like there would be one book, one definitive book, and it is enough. It seems like if Jesus considered his religion to be so important, he would have wrote the book. Well, come on, that makes sense. Muhammad started a religion and he said, I'm gonna write my own book. I ain't gonna leave it to nobody else to mess it up. If the religion is so important to Jesus, he would have wrote the book. Why did he leave his story to be told by others? And why then are there 4 Gospels? He said, and then subsequently we realized that there are the possibility of other Gospels. I said, sure. I said, you know why? The story Matthew differs from Mark a little bit, and Mark differs from Luke, and Luke differs from John. You know why? Because and the reason Jesus doesn't write the story is because it's not Jesus's story. It was Matthew's story about Jesus. And the reason it's different than Mark's is because Mark experienced him one way and Matthew experienced. And the reason John's gospel was different than Matthew's is because John experienced him different than another. And guess what? I got a gospel, and Donnie got a gospel, and Shirley got a gospel, and Larry got a gospel, and Martha got. And each one tells about a story. My walk with him and your walk with him, and East Side walk it out, and West Side walk it out, and Baltimore walk it out, and DC walk it out. It tells about our walk.